Live song reviews are on, baby. It's 5:30 on the dot. Welcome to the show. I'm Bradley Denniston. I'll be your host this evening. It is Friday, 5:30. Let's see who we can get in here. Live song reviews. What are they about? I'm going to give you feedback on your music. I'm going to review it for arrangement, mixing, mastering, production, songwriting, anything and everything to get you guys something that's going to do well in the marketplace. Okay? So that's what this is about. Market viable music. I will give, input on creativeness and stuff and uniqueness, but for the most part, this is about trying to help you get there, market viability. So music business. All right. That's what we're about. If you guys aren't about the music business, you probably shouldn't be here. It's just not your place. I'm just really trying to give you guys game on music that's going to do well in the business. All right. So who's in the house? Say what's up. Always, you guys, I appreciate you sharing the show. It means everything to the channel, to the support of what this is, building a community where I can give you guys reviews. I can help you. I can add value to you and your music business, and help you grow it. That's really that's my agenda here. All right. Nothing else. This is totally free. So all I ask is that you guys share the show, right? Share it, like it, comment, just kind of participate, man. Like, I'm taking an hour out of my day. I'm stopping everything I'm doing. And I'm like, yo, I better do this live song review. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to tap in with you. So let's get right into it. I got quite a few tracks tonight, baby. Sunflower DJ, producer, what's up? Soundflower, Soundflow, sorry. Sound something. Yo, Philippe, what's up, man? He's up at like 2 a.m. You guys cross the world right here for the song review. So that's pretty wild. Where are you from? Where's everyone from? Gene, what's up? How are you? Let's go. Piercy Blue in the house. Aha, fuck boy left. Let's go. All right, go time. And as you can see, lots of tracks. We're going to go first come, first serve unless you're signed up with the channel. $5 a month. Skip the line. All right. So let me know if you're in the channel. I could see a little dot next to your name if you are. So you can't lie to me. No making up shit. All right. I'm going to get into it. I'm going to hurt some feelings, not on purpose. I'm just going to tell you exactly how I feel about shit. And I'm a real dude. I'm going to tell you really how I feel. So if you need me to pat your back and tell you like you're doing great and, you can do it, this is probably not the right spot for you either. A lot of people get mad at me for that. I'm like, so you want me to fake it and like lie to you and be someone I'm not? I can't do that. I'm sorry. So let's go. Let's go modified. Someone uploaded at 8:30 a.m. and that would be Jake James Vogel with Love Bites Sometimes. Sometimes love does bite. All right, let's get into it, guys.
I don't wanna be your enemy. I don't even know why we're fighting. Sometimes we just can't agree. Sometimes I'm a dick. Remember when we first fell in love? The crazy parties in the walker. All of that is still in us, with all the other things.
All right. Yeah, that's pretty wild. First thing I would say is like, don't have any silence at the beginning of your record. Anytime you share music, just don't do that. It's just bad practice, Even if it is only 2 seconds, 3 seconds, just don't do it. Like if someone hits play, they want to hear the song, Like, what? You know what I mean? So just, yeah, 2 seconds is a long time sometimes. The song feels like it's scratch, like really, really scratch. Like you're in the writing process. Your recordings are not very good. The timing is not very good. It's pretty out,
I don't wanna wanna be your enemy.
Like the drums and the guitar are like so loose that they're kind of out. I get the vibe, I get the style like you're going for. It's very indie, but like that's almost just a little too loose, you know? I would just kind of tighten that up. And then there's different ideas all kind of stitched throughout this. I don't feel like there's like a really good like pattern for the brain to follow. These drums kind of come in randomly. They're like a different style, a different genre almost. Like that feels weird to me. It feels like you got like a boom bap beat going all of a sudden, like hip hop drums. Like you just kind of threw a loop in there that fit with the BPM. So I don't know if that's well thought out. It doesn't feel well thought out. And it kind of kicks you out of the whatever you got going on here, because you kind of built this world and then you just kind of like threw this like machine drum kind of loop on it. I like to hear that blended a little bit better and more purposeful, and maybe even just think about what you're doing with the rhythms, because the rhythms are kind of going in different places. Like this beginning rhythm is this.
I don't wanna be your enemy. I don't even know why we're fighting. Sometimes,
You know, it feels like bunt, cut, bunt, cut, bunt, cut, cut, but up, cut, you know? And then this drum beat comes in and it's kind of doing something different. I think I'd lock in with that idea of what you have on the drums here. And just like bring in more low end on them, you know? Maybe you layer the kick in this loop that you have here. Maybe you layer that kick up so it like thickens out and gets a little lower and beefier. And then maybe the snare drum like has like a clap or snap on top or something. Whistles are really dated and just kind of like not a cool idea anymore. You know, like there was this like time where whistles was like on everything. Like you see them on every like commercial music. You see like hear them on every record, every indie thing ever. I would try and like get a little bit more creative than whistles, just because like whistles feels just so overdone. And there was like this there was a song, I forget the song, but like it had this really catchy whistle melody and it was like indie, and then like everybody started doing that. So I'll just kind of steer away from it a little bit. What's up, Lauren? How you doing? Just Josh, what do you got? It's funny because when those drums came in, I thought the song was about to go crazy. Yeah, totally. Like you kind of like threw us for a, what are we doing? It's kind of jarring. Overall, I just think like sonically, it's like feels like a demo. It feels like something you like cut and you're like, all right, that's as far as I could get, or that's all the time I got for this. That's how it feels right now to my ears. But yeah, man, keep it up. I think there's something there, and you got a cool, like there's ideas in there that are cool. All right, let's move on. Takeover, King Sosa. You guys like what you hear, see, whatever, share the show, right?
Baby, yeah. Talk about is cocaine. This ain't dope, boy. All you talk about is cocaine. Let's go, baby. Yeah. And let me show you how I took over the road. Cocaine, cocaine. Yeah, I'm on the road. And let me show you how I took over the game. Cocaine, cocaine. Yeah, I took the game. And let me show you how I learned over the flame. Dope boy. Send them insane. And let me show you how I took over the game. Dope boy, flipping cocaine. And let me show you how I took over the game. I'm on the block, saying fuck police. Yeah, cause we run the streets. I'm ducking, yeah, the jakes. Yeah, man, from night to day. A nigga like me, yeah, still getting bloody paid. I'm flying OT cause my clients, yeah, got money, man. Fuck them niggas in the hood, yeah, they bomb me, man. Let me show you how I took over the game. My plug fronted me so much, bricks of cocaine. Said dope, yeah, cause you the man of the game. And you that nigga that be whooping, yeah, over the flame. And you that nigga that.
Okay, so lots of issues with this record. I'll start with the obvious, right? The obvious is going to be the performance. Like, the performance isn't really that great. Like, I just feel like it doesn't, like, the performance is like, yeah, this doesn't sound very intense. Like, what you're talking about is intense, but like the performance is so just not very good. Yeah, cocaine. You know, like I'm just not really that convinced by the performance. I think very few people would be convinced by this performance. It just lacks like belief. It lacks like energy, if you will. Another part of that is going to be the mix. Obviously, like the mix is really low. It's very dynamic for a rap song, especially in this style with the 808 rolling and shit and talking about drugs. I would definitely like get a professional mix and master on this if it's something you want to do. But before you do that, like cut enough to get a great performance, you know. Stack up the chorus so we know where the chorus is and where it ends. You know, just to like make this more, because you just like cocaine right here, and it's like all the way up through like a minute 10. Intro is like total throwaway. Like, why even like some murder beat with like, you know, murder piano, and like, you know, it's just not very interesting. I would come in with like right away with vocals.
This ain't dope, boy. All you talk about is cocaine. This ain't dope, boy. All you talk about.
I'd come right in there, you know. All you talk about is cocaine. Like, you know, I don't want to get on this guy's bad side because it sounds like all he talks about is cocaine. And people that do and talk a lot about cocaine, they're probably, you know, just not people you want to fuck with too much, just because, you know, cocaine's a hell of a drug. So, believe me, I lived in Central America. I'm not saying anything. That's all. Ain't nobody got a line on me. All right, so this is like overall just like a demo, super demo. Beat doesn't hit, doesn't slap. Like vocals sound really poorly recorded. It's just like, you know, you can hear it. Like everybody can hear it. Like, yeah, it doesn't sound like a record.
The game, dope for plugs, get that how I took over the game. Streets.
You know, it just doesn't sound there. It sounds muffly and like just not mixed, and compression's not being used. All that good stuff. So hopefully that's helpful. Arrangement stuff, performance stuff, mix master stuff, all sorts of shit. I'd say production stuff. Step up the production, like get it more modern. Like just throwing like a loop of a with like a string run. Like that's just feels lazy to me. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's move on.
This is all I want, this is all I need. Girl, I ain't gonna give up till you here with me. Gotta put my heart into you, baby. Gotta put my heart into you, baby. This is all I want, this is all I need. Girl, I ain't gonna give up till you here with me. Gotta put my heart into you, baby. Gotta put my heart into you, baby. Even if we argue, fuss and fight, girl, I want you in my life. Girl, I want you to be my best friend, and someday I'ma make you my wife. I don't care if they get mad, I don't care about spending no bag. All I care about is you, so I'ma put my trust in you. Make a promise to me this way, to my God, you should never do me dirty. Girl, I'm in it for the long one, I beat her right or die when I shoot like Curry. Tell the mother bitches back up, I ain't gon' lag up, you ain't gotta worry. Yeah, girl, they ain't even worthy. I'm your number one guy, I'm sturdy. This is all I want, this is all I need. Girl, I ain't gonna give up till you here with me. Gotta put my heart into you, baby. Gotta put my heart into.
So I don't mind this. I think this has potential, right? Because the writing's pretty good. The chorus, I think, needs some help. It's not really that excited. And it doesn't need to be exciting. It's kind of R&B and vibey, you know? But I think it just needs it needs more wave. It needs more performance in it. This, like, your pitch singing this kind of vibe, and you're just like out of tune the whole time. And the melodies are ill-defined. Like you're not hitting those melodies. It's just like, where do you really put my heart to you, baby? Like it's hard to tell where you're trying to go with the notes, you know? So Melodyne's your friend on this. Hard auto-tune just to find the notes and like write, because the writing is like super ill-defined. Like I'm like, I don't get it, you know?
One guy, I'm sturdy. This is all I want, this is all I need. Girl, I ain't gonna give.
Yeah, I don't like the echoes either. They're very distracting. Like, this is all I want, is all I want, is all I need, 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 is all I need. Like, bro, just pump the brakes a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to be double, like, you know, everything doesn't need to be filled. Like, I hate when records are produced where, like, they have to, the vocalist, the rapper, the singer, whatever, they have to fill that gap. They're like, I have to fill that void. There's a void there. Like, no, a record needs to breathe. So if you're going to put something there, like, have it, like, be an echo that's, like, really in the background, like, tucked back, distant, you know, just has a different timbre, texture to it. It feels way too similar to be an echo on this.
She's all I need. Girl, I ain't gonna give up. Till you here with me. Gotta put my heart into you, baby. Gotta put my heart into you, baby. And she's all I want. And she's all I need. Girl, I ain't gonna give up. Till you here with me. Gotta put my heart into you, baby. Gotta put my heart into you, baby. Gotta put my heart into you.
I'd say overall the verses are kind of cool. Like, you got some cool rap and stuff. I think the chorus needs to be bigger. It needs to feel like a little more stacked up. It needs to be sang right and like performance based. The mix and master is like really flat. It's very, very quiet for a mix. I don't know. It's probably not mastered at all. But it's like super dynamic for a rap song at this kind of idea, like this kind of modern vibe. I do like the loop. I like the acoustic guitar. That's pretty, like, you know, everybody's doing that sound right now. Just the, you know, little nylon guitar and shit. That's like super, super trendy right now. Actually, it has been trendy for like the last few years.
You, baby, you in my life. Girl, I want you to be my best friend and someday I'ma make you my wife. I don't care if they get mad. I don't care about spending a bag. All I care about is you. So I'ma put my trust in you.
I say the writing is like really sloppy and needs some love, you know, like, with you, put my trust in you, I'm gonna do this. Like, it's just kind of like not really that interesting. The vocal, I'd say like the timbre of your voice is probably the coolest thing about this track. Like the timbre of like the, like little throaty, kind of scratchy throat kind of vibe. I like that part of it. Everything else is just kind of like mid, you know, no offense. Okay, this gift called life, Steve Auntie. Let's go.
Cause I've been up and I've been down. I've been looking everywhere, turning my head around. Cause you've been here and I've been there. People walking by really seem to care. Living, watching as time goes by. It is a vapor, this gift called life. What do I do? What can I say? The moments go by, they're slipping away. Cause I'm a little older and a little wiser, holding to the truth deep inside of me. Living, watching as time goes by. It is a vapor, this gift called life.
'cause I know this can be a beautiful journey unfolding in front of me. Look at the blue sky above my head. I'm so happy I got out of bed. Living, watching as time goes by. It is a vapor, this gift called life. Living, watching as time goes by. It is a vapor, this gift called life. Life.
Great. Love it. Love the vibe. It's very chill, a very positive song. I do like that about it. I think that it's like super mellow. It's a chill song that, really doesn't need to do much more than what it's doing. But that being said, like, I do think that there's like some parts that could be a little bit more syncopated and interesting in the vocal and in the vocal like phrasing. A lot of it feels like the same cadence and same phrasing throughout, which I think gets really, really boring to the ear. Overall, like, I like that it's like a chill song, but I do feel like you want something kind of surprising, or something just like a little bit more like, kind of takes you off into like, like if you're at the beach, right? You don't want to always just be laying in the sun under an umbrella. Like, you want to get up, you want to run into the waves, you want to play in the water. Maybe you want to play some soccer, play some football, throw the ball, maybe a frisbee. You bring your dog, you want to run around with the dog. Like, you don't want to just lay there and do nothing. You know what I mean? And I think that there's like moments where you can kind of get off of that, like, ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like, that whole thing gets so repetitive. And as you skip around the song, I think it just feels super linear. Like, you're like, And that's okay for this style, but like, find ways to get a little bit more excitement in the phrasing, I think.
'Cause you've been here, called life. Living, watch, go out and love. Be a whole journey unfolding and living, watching as time goes by. Living, watching as time goes by.
Like, nothing is really different, 1 minute and 39 seconds in, all the way to like almost 4 minutes in. It's like the same thing. So I don't know, maybe it needs like some differences, just like little differences. They don't need to be crazy. And like the cadence for like the ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba-ba-ba, ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-da-da-da. Maybe it's like the melody's just not moving very much. It's the whole time. And like the chorus doesn't feel much different, We've been feeding, da-da-da-da-da, ba-da-ba-ba, da-da-da-da-da, dee-dee-dee-dee, da-da-da-da-da. It's like, I don't know. There's just not like a lot of places that it's going. So maybe the chorus needs, a little spruce in the melody department. Maybe we gotta, try some harmony stacks in there that are a little more interesting. Anything to just kind of like change it up a little bit. Make it feel like that's more of a chorus. This gift called life, like it's just kind of still in the same da da da. The gift called life, da 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 dee 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 dee. This gift called life. Da 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 da. Like everything feels like it's all just hanging on 3 notes, you know. So try going somewhere else, somewhere. I don't know where that is, but like have a little interesting moment where you go to a different note, or you know, maybe jump the octave, or, you know, I don't know if you can do that vocally, but, you know, it just might be fun to try and mess around with getting out of that like chord structure that just feels kind of da 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 da, like it's like na na na, like I don't know. Hopefully that makes sense. Feels like monotone, if that's maybe the best way to explain it. But yeah, otherwise, like, great. I also think it should be shortened. 4 minutes is too long. I think you've already said what you've already said, and then you're just saying it again. Again, like I'm just like showing you, like as I jump around the song.
I'm so happy I living, watching as time goes by. Living, watching as time goes by.
You know, it's a vibe. It's a vibe, but like the end is like you're just kind of doing the same thing. It's like looping almost for too long. So maybe there's a place you can make up for it in the beginning or something. But yeah, man, it's coming along. It's sounding really good. The recording sounds great. The mix is like well balanced. I would say the bass and guitar are fighting each other pretty often. So I would look around what you got going on with the guitar and the bass, and just make more room for the bass if you need to. Meaning just like filter up on the guitar a little bit. You know, go into like 200, 300 hertz. Like guitar has a lot of stuff that doesn't need to be there when the bass is playing. All right, Big Boys Ent. That's my DJ. DJ 7 Anthem, Big Man. Let's go. What does this sound like?
You're listening to the best DJ, keeping the party rocking on all social media platforms.
DJ 7.
That's my DJ.
DJ 7 exclusive.
That's my DJ. 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 Go DJ. Go DJ.
DJ 7.
Go DJ. Go DJ. Go DJ. Go DJ. Go DJ. Go DJ. DJ turn it up.
DJ 7.
Turn it up. DJ turn it up. Yeah, turn it up. DJ turn it up. Yeah, turn it up. DJ turn it up. Yeah, turn it up. We wanna see her dancing. We wanna see her bouncing. We wanna see her twerking. We wanna see her working. Let's fuck this party up now. Let's fuck this party up now. Let's fuck this party up now. And DJ turn it up now. Go DJ.
DJ 7.
Go DJ. That's my DJ. Go DJ.
Yo, that is enough of that. DJ 7. Like, bro, we don't need any of that shit. Like, that's driving me crazy. I played that way longer than I would actually play it. I'll be real with you. And I'm not trying to be a dick, but, you know, what is that? Why are we saying DJ 7 throughout the whole thing? Why are we yelling a tag? Like, did you not buy the beat or something? Like, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like you didn't buy the beat. So I don't know what to say about this one. Like, DJ 7 is all I remember. DJ 7 on broadcast. Like, if you're trying to do that and like you're doing that to try and like promote the song, that's no. Like, it is not 1998 anymore, you know? Like, nobody cares if you're on the radio or not. Like, no one gives a fuck. Like, just make a dope song. Right? You don't need to hype it up like that. You don't need to like be saying all these names and dropping DJ handles every fucking 5 seconds. Like, that's not something that's going to work for promo in 2023. Like, it's very rare that you guys make something on TikTok or Instagram or whatever that even looks kind of promotional or advertisey that people are going to even fuck with that. Like, people are so smart right now. And today, like, kids know what an ad is the minute they see it, right? So It's like being an ad throughout your whole song is an absolute no-go in 2023. Like, that's what I would say. And I'm not even trying to hate. Like, I'm just saying I don't know where you got your information from, like, to think that that's the way you promote music. You know, play it on a live song review and have like that kind of thing going on. That's just going to drive everyone crazy. Did anybody in here, like, I'm going to do a poll real quick just so we can like be all on the same page, because I might be totally off. All right. And I'm okay with like accepting when I'm completely wrong. All right. But let's do a poll. Like, who liked the DJ tags throughout? Who liked, like, listening right now, who liked any of the promotional stuff that was within that track? Like, did anybody here like that? Was anyone like, that's sick, I love that? All right, let's see the people that liked it. Tell me if you did like it. Like, if you're like, yo, that's dope, you should market your music like that. Go on live song reviews and definitely put like fucking DJ, blah, blah, blah. Like, put tags all over it. To be honest, I'm still not sure who made that track. I don't know. Maybe AI, you know? We don't know. Nobody knows. Nope. Not really. All right. I gotta laugh my ass off. I don't know. What was that? Probably just some comment. Just Josh says, ha ha. Anyway, I'm gonna move on. I'm not gonna like completely rag on anyone, but I'm just saying, like, yo, no DJ. No DJ, no go DJ. No. One time at the beginning is fine, but it's too much. Yeah. It's almost like one time in the beginning is just like even too much. All right, let's go into this. Some people, Master Björk.
Some people got worried, some people got burden, some people got things, a little life in their burden. Is everything working right? Cause that don't seem okay. Some people just worry me, what can I say? Something is up inside of that brain, and I just know that I'm not the only one who sees it. God, I know. Yeah, some of us see it, I know. And it's not somebody flipped the switch and now we're in crazy mode. Code red, you say we have a problem inside it. They need penance. Heard out your common sense and fucking intelligence. Always worked up like it's all they do. Changing the scene, we're still auto-tune. Please don't change our tone. Yes, we know that you're woke, but look at them go, gonna chop you down and take you out like wolf. No soup for you, no, you've had enough. Damn, try a little ganja, man, yeah, chill, let's just vibe. I got you, I'll be there for you. Yeah, some people got worried, some people got pain, some people got things, a little life in their brain. Is everything working right? Cause that don't seem okay. Some people just worry me, what can I say? Something is up inside of that brain, and I know I'm not the only one who sees it slow. I'm not the only one who knows. These are for souls, modern people, first world problems. Oh, we're much too comfortable, we're too comfortable. Most of us don't really know a life for real. But hey, at least we can sit back and watch a bunch of shit on our phones.
It's like automatic for me to hear Sublime as your reference and like hear all of your like influences on this one for sure. I wouldn't say this is ska. I would say this is definitely more reggae. So definitely reggae and definitely Sublime. Like, that's all I hear in this. So it's like really hard to give this a review because I'm like, yeah, but you know, Bradley Knowles like dope as fuck. And Sublime, like old Sublime, like let it rest. Let sleeping giants rest, if you will. But yeah, like this is like super extra compressed, I think overall. Like it just sounds bad as far as like the mix.
And I just know that I'm not the only one who sees it. God.
You know, like Sublime didn't like do that on purpose, like make it sound like shit. it was because they were using demos and shit, right? Like early in the morning, rise into the street. Like that was all like recorded on a shitty like 4-track recorder. They didn't want to do that. That's just like something that like caught because the demo caught. But yeah, we don't live in that era anymore. So like putting this out there, I think would be really, really hard for you to do, because it's like super sublime, right? Like, especially in here, like when you're really like going for the Bradley Nowell thing.
I got that brain, and I know I'm not the only one who sees it slow. I'm not the only one who knows. These are puzzles, modern people.
But yeah, it's cool. It's cool for what it is. You know, it's just like reggae, sublime kind of vibes. Yeah, I don't mind it, like the music and stuff. I think the performances could work on, you can work on the performances, try to find your own voice, you know, not sound so much like someone you really like. You know what I mean? Like, cause that's really hard. Like I think about that a lot. Like it's hard to come up with your own voice and not sound like the person, you know, that you grew up listening to, or that band you grew up listening to. So overall, it just feels too much like something you've heard before. Like it's so hard to like get out of that. All right, Lauren Gale, let's get into it. We Are the Light.
We are the light, living stars on the earth. And our task is to shine that light into the darkness. Sometimes lonely like the lighthouse on the coast, still shining bright. When the swallows return to the shadows, we are the light to guide us home. Don't fear the dark or the storms late at night. A candle doesn't dim when reflecting light, 'cause we are the light, living stars on the earth. And our task is to shine that light into the darkness. On this night, gather round the hearth, fill our hearts, stoke the fires, radiating warmth with the fires that we tend. Love won't diminish as it's shared. On this night, gather round the hearth, fill our hearts, stoke the fires, radiating warmth with the fires that we tend. Love will grow as we shine. We are the light, living stars on the earth. And our task is to shine that light into the darkness. 'Cause we are the light, living stars on the earth. And our task is to shine that light into the darkness.
Yeah, I really like the message behind this one. I think that that's like really important to be up to date, like be up to date with what's going on in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like be a light. I think that's really beautiful, really important. Overall, I feel like this is just a sketch. Like it has some elements to it that feel like a song and a record, but you know,
And our task is
overall, it just feels like if you're gonna do something like this, where you keep it so minimal, almost like an interlude, like keep it really short as well. If you go longer, the longer you go, the more like changes you should probably have within a song. Just because like 3 minutes and 16 seconds, like that's a long time for someone to sit here and listen to a vocalist, unless that vocalist is like Celine Dion, you know what I mean? Or like someone that's just operatic or whatever the fuck, right? Or there's like a really, really, really detailed story, like in folk music, where you can like really follow along with like a story, you know what I'm saying? But this has such a big concept, like We Are the Light, and it's like a big concept with a very, very small arrangement. It's either you go even smaller with the arrangement, right? Like acoustic guitar and like one vocal, you know what I'm saying? And short, or you go bigger and you start to change and get dynamic and strings come in and things swell and you have moments in there and like big spaces, things like that. And that would happen in the production, and that would happen in the composition and the arrangement. And you'd want to voice things around what you have right here, because it gets really loopy. But you did try, you know, I hear like you're putting the harmony stacks in, you know, the padded ahs and stuff. I think that's really beautiful. Let me see what else you got in here.
on this night. Gather round the hearth, fill our hearts, creating a shelf. Are the loud task.
Yeah, like it'll get way too linear. It'll get too like, I think people get bored with it. They'll be like, oh, that's really pretty. Is it going to go anywhere? You know what I mean? Like, is another thing coming in? Is something else going to come in? And you're like, I don't know. It might be a little too late, if that makes sense. Building like here, or starting to build here with the layer in 30 seconds. And then maybe you get to like a minute and you add another layer, you know what I'm saying? And then maybe you're getting to this like minute 20 or whatever, and another layer happens, right? And then maybe you go down here, right? To back to like just like vocal and like a little guitar. And then you go, whoa, and then you get really big, and then you swell down and you come off the end, right? And then you shorten it just a little bit, because it's 3 minutes. So I think if you arranged it right, it wouldn't feel very long. Right now it feels really long because it's linear. There's just not a whole lot changing throughout the piece. But it's beautiful. The message is beautiful. The writing is like, you know, you have some elements in there that are really great. Yeah, this could definitely be shaped up and turned into something really pretty. Especially with like string section, you know, like just really beautiful kind of chamber strings. Not like full orchestra kind of thing, like chamber, like meaning smaller arrangement of strings, right? Or even like an octet, you know what I'm saying? Like get smaller. I don't think bigger with the ahs, like I don't think that's working unless you're gonna introduce us to a new world, right? That's like that. You know, get something even more deep and more in the back and wider, and wow, we're going into a different world. But I feel like that's kind of a tease right now, where you're like, oh, and you're like, oh, this is might go somewhere. And you're like, no, it's not going to go anywhere. So those are my notes. That's a lot of notes, right? You guys want to hear something that I did that I just kind of like wrote in the last 2 days? I've been trying to like get like 2 to 3 songs done a week, like finished. Maybe I can share that with you guys. Sorry, killing myself over here. Yeah, great job, Lauren. Absolutely. Killed it. Yeah, let me know. I'll share something with you guys. I'll open the Logic session. Soundflow's like, sure, dude. Fine. Fine. You gotta share your shit. Okay. I'm just teasing. Yeah, I'm gonna share it with you guys. It's rough, but you know, I got all the writing done for the most part. Some of the writing's kind of clumsy, like I still have to polish it up. And then I have like a little part where I'm still working on this part, and it's a very small little part. But once I figure that out, I think it's going to be really dope. Soundflow's like, yo, bro, really, we got to hear your shit, bro. All right. I guess it is your show. I don't have to play my music. I just figure like people want to, you know, hear stuff and like see stuff that, you know, maybe can help them. Because I listen to all your guys' music. I've actually been listening to your guys' music, just like the public and the music, my mailing list. I've been listening to your guys' music and doing these live song reviews for almost 3 years now. Actually, probably over 3 years. So I know exactly like where people are at and like what the majority of people are doing right now in music. The people that come to this show, at least. So this is one I just like literally spent like yesterday and today on, or yesterday and the day before, and just did like maybe an hour on it today. But I think it's getting close. It's getting really close. Better have an octet in it. That's right. It's not that kind of song. It's not an octet song. I'm not putting an octet in this one. But yeah, I'll show you guys some stuff. I'll show you some sounds and stuff as well. I mean, show you vocal chain, whatever. Some stuff to help you guys make better records. Because, you know, this is the kind of stuff, like, I'm making this for sync licensing, you know? Like, this will be a record that I want to sync license on TV and commercials and shit. And that's, like, my intention going into it. And I think a lot of times, like, people make music without any intention. And I don't think that's wrong, because there's, like, no wrong answer. Like, you can't say, like, oh, that's wrong, you should always do it like this. But I think if you want to make a living in music, or you want to be a business in music, like someone that's taken very seriously in music, then you have to come into things with intention in mind. You have to be like, I have an intention for this. I have this style of song I'm doing. I have like the palette that I want to do, etc. Like you're really planning things, if that makes sense. You're not just like sitting down and making music. Like, oh, I'm just going to make music. You can do that. I think that's important. But if you have intention with things, you'll get to that professional spot a lot quicker. I personally think that. At least that's like in my, you know, experience. That's how it's been for me. So you guys can take that or leave that. I'm not sitting here saying I have like all the keys to your life and everything. But, you know, I can maybe teach you guys some stuff if you'll listen and learn. If you want to learn, you know what I mean? I think that's the more important thing. Like most people like just don't want to learn. All right, sorry, my camera battery keeps dying on my camera because I've been fucking having Zoom calls and shit. So yeah, no picture right now. All right, I'm so sorry. I just tuned it in. My fault if I missed info. Oh, it's all good. Welcome. Mix from last week. Oh, nice. Fuck yeah. That's what's up. Get on the email list. That's how you send the music in, if anyone's wondering. Send me an email. All right. I'm just looking through this. How could you do this to us? I know, right? Bastard. All right, cool. Once Logic decides to like relaunch, because I hate that it does this. If you change like buffer rate or anything on Logic, it's like, I gotta reload every plugin. So lame. But yeah, this will load up, and yeah, I'll play this for you. Here, let me mute the microphone.
You got me feeling like I'm back home. Love me like we're still young. Lady luck, don't leave me young. Got me humming like I'm Sam or Dave up on the dance floor. Love me like you did before. But can we bring those good times back? Good. Can we bring those good times back? bedroom. Dust it off, let it shine to a new tune. Put the record back on, cut a new groove. James Brown, funkadelic, ooh. Don't make me wait in vain. I'm taking another shot. The bad times will go away. Let's hit the day like it's all we got. You got me feeling like I'm back home. Love me like we're still young. Lady luck don't lead me on. Got me humming like I'm Sam or Dave up on the dance floor. Love me like you did before. Can we bring those good times back? Can we bring those good times back? One, two, three. I gotta get you up to dance with me. Yeah. One, two, three. I gotta get you like your moves got me. Waltzing on the doorstep, spinning in your black dress, trying to keep up with your energy. Feeling like a moment. You put down your phone and now we'll kick it back to 93. You got me feeling like I'm back home. Love me like we're still young. Lady luck don't lead me on. Got me humming like I'm Sam or Dave up on the dance floor. Love me like you did before. Can we bring those good times back? Can we bring those good times back?
So yeah, that's one I just like pretty much did in, a day or so. And then I just been like writing. I just finished like the sketch writing, if you will. Got to go through and like refine everything now, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like what I expect to be able to do within about like 4 to 6 hours. That's pretty typical 4 to 6 hour area. There's not even a bass line on it. You know what I'm saying? Like I still like need to write the bass line. So there's so much missing in the song, but I typically think like, yo, that once you have the song, once you have a hook and you have an idea and a concept, then you can fucking make the record and then you can go back and change things out. Like I constantly do that. Like I'll make a palette, I'll get the palette down. Like any of y'all that have like done the song creation formula or like got the song creation formula and went through it and done the challenges and shit that I throw, like you know exactly how I make music. You understand like how fast the process is. So you have to really just like, you have to have that concept in your head, like, and then put that down and get that hook, you know? Like, can we bring the good times back? Like, the whole idea is like to bounce back and forth between like, yo, this shit, like you're slacking, you're like all down, you're gloomy or whatever without it being gloomy. And then talking about like, yo, let's get back to like good shit, like fun shit, you know, putting records on, listening to James Brown, like, you know, anything, like dancing on getting drunk and dancing, you know, like having fun and just like letting loose. And I think that's important for like sync licensing. If you're going to license anything into TV, commercials, films, TV trailers, whatever, like you want to have a very strong concept. It has to be visual. So, and not too specific. And then you have to have a lot of different parts to it, right? You have to have different parts and sections. Like you can have a verse and then you can have like a second verse that feels more like a bridge, you know? Like that's what I did in this. Like here's the first verse, and I'll show you first and then the bridge and how different they are, but they could still work together in an edit.
That disco ball stop spinning in your bedroom. Dust it off, let it shine to a new tune. Put the record back on, cut a new groove. James Brown, funkadelic, ooh. Don't make me wait in vain. I'm taking another shot. 1, 2, 3. I gotta get you up to dance with me. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. I gotta get you like
Right, so that feels like a bridge, but it's also like a second verse, right? So it's the same length. But yeah, just stuff to edit from, and then going back to your chorus where you can stack it up and do different shit with it every time.
Back home, you got me feeling like I'm back home. Love me like we're still young. Lady luck don't lead me young. Got me humming like I'm Sam or gave up on the dance floor. You got me feeling like I'm back home. Love me like we're still young. Lady luck don't lead me young. Got me humming like I'm Sam or gave up on the dance floor. Love me like you did before. Can we bring those good times?
Yeah, so that once I pop the bass down, like this is all going to be tied together. And it's fun to like produce things different ways. Like you don't always want to start with just chords. You don't want to start with just drums sometimes. Sometimes you want to start with the bass line and the drums. Sometimes you want to start with the melody and the top line. Sometimes, you know, it's all different, but you got to move fast. So it's like get the song down, get the song done. All right, I got time for one more. I'm going to do one more review here. Let me get into it. Appreciate you guys tuning in and tapping in on a Friday. I know it's not ideal like Friday night come through and get into the live song review, but you know, it's early still, so this is your little pregame, I guess. All right, let's get into this one. This is the last one here. Calm Before the Storm by Relus Baum.
It's the calm before the storm. It's the calm before the storm. Is there a sunshine?
It's the calm before the storm. It's the calm before the storm. And at the end of every storm, there's a sunshine.
I'm sick on this earth where the devil stands. My level of perception will never land. I'm Captain Hook, fuck a Peter Pan with his lonely ass and his imaginary friends. Gotta look a light different. Talking rear views in the side mirror. If you wanna get a better view, stick your head out the damn window. Before life hits you, no accidents, just choices. Wrong and rights, there's no exist that will guide you to poison, expose you, destroy you. There's demons that are known to perpetrate your soul. Perpetrate your soul, perpetrate your soul. What in the hell do you want with me when heaven's all that you needed? I said in the eyes of Gabriel, told him you won't ever be as high as me. He said, you had your chance, bitch. Plus, I'm high off this weed. Caught I rolled up in that double dutch, fuck her back, whoop past my double cup, hitting to get my second verse ready, ho. It's the calm before the storm. It's the calm before the storm.
Yeah, I like the concept behind it. You know what I mean? Like I like how you have like the 3 parts and shit. That's cool. Like you got the calm before the storm, but you know, like the weakest part of this, obviously, I think, is the production, you know, and the mix. But like overall, I think you can get this really dope and tight with the right production and the right mix and master, like straight up. Like the piano, like that's so cheesy for this. Like I would not use a piano. Especially not a piano that sounds like, you know, a classical piano with like a classical idea. You know, that boom, bum, bum, boom, bum, bum, boom, bum, bum, boom, bum, bum. Like that's just I don't know, something about it just like cheeseball. And it just doesn't fit. I would like try and sound design something different and get away from like that boom, bum, 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 boom, bum, bum, like Claire de Lune type vibe, or I don't know if that's Claire de Lune. It might be something different, but something. It's reminding me of something. I forget what it is. Gymnopede, you know? But anyway, I think that idea is just kind of lame. But I do like this. This is dope. Like when you get heavy here, this is sick.
Oh, the hell do you want with me when heaven's all that you needed? Perpetrate your soul, your soul. What in the hell do you want with me when heaven's all that you needed? I said in the eyes of Gabriel, told him you won't ever be as high as me. He said, you had your chance, bitch. Plus, I'm high off this weed. Caught I rolled up in that double dutch, fuck a backwood pass my double cup, hitting the.
Yeah, and some of the writing, like, it's just a little sloppy, you know? And the pitch down, like, devil voice, like, that's just kind of sloppy. You know, just sloppy, like, sloppy engineering, sloppy production. Kick drum's, like, super, super loud. It's, like, clipping everywhere. But everything else is, like, really low and doesn't have impact to it. Yeah, you know, it's just, like, balancing shit and getting the feel right. And that's all production, man. That's just all production. Like, y'all don't, like, take production seriously enough. Like, you have to understand, production is so nuanced. It's like, yeah, we all got the same tools. You hear this shit all the time online, right? It's all bullshit. We all got the same tools. The playing field is leveled. Like, no, we don't all have the same tools, first of all. Like, that's a fucking lie, 100%. Like, who in here, like, has just a Focusrite Scarlett, you know what I mean? And a decent computer that probably needs to be upgraded. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't all have the same tools. So just like that whole idea of like, oh, you got a computer, so you should be able to do everything I do. Like, bro, I max out every session I work on. And I'm running is the most, like, you know, fucking souped up machine. Like, it's the latest Mac Studio type vibe, you know? And I stay up on that shit. And I think a lot of people do. So yeah, just don't believe that hype, you know, that hype of like, yeah, we all got spliced, so we all should be able to make these fucking insanely good records. Like, it's just not true, you guys. Like, that may have been true a few years ago. Like, maybe 5 to 10 years ago, it was true. Like, the leveling, like, the field got leveled, all that shit. But, like, nowadays, bro, like, sure, kids are making classics in rooms, like, rarely. They're like those are outliers. These kids that are making loops and shit, or like happen to get one or catch one. Like, that's like scratching a lottery ticket and winning, especially when you're not ready for it. There's producers out here that like just would shit this song out and it would be 10 times better. You know what I mean? That's why I'm saying, like, we're not all the same. Production's not all the same. You guys have to understand, like, it's nuanced. There's a lot of things that happen in production where we don't want you to hear that. We want you to feel that. Right? Like, we want you to feel a certain way, not hear something. So like, oh, the kick drum's got to be turned up. It's got to really hit. No, it fucking doesn't. Like, it needs to be mixed right. You know, it needs to be mixed right. The sounds need to be picked right. The fucking producer, the person like actually putting the groove together and the vibes together, like, they have a sonic imprint that they're going to put onto it. You know what I mean? Like, this doesn't feel like a sonic imprint. The only thing that's different about this is the vocalist, and only like on these certain parts. Like, you got kind of this rock and roll and like metal thing going on.
What in the hell did your soul? Penetrate your soul. Penetrate your soul. What in the hell do you want with me when heaven's all that you...
But yeah, like everything else, like what, a piano with a fucking 808, kick drum really loud. Like, that's not new. There's nothing new about that. And there's nothing subtle about it. But yeah, there's something here. It's a cool idea, cool concept. It's just being executed poorly. I think like it just needs the right producer on it. You got to get the right sounds, and the sounds need to be designed, and they need to be full and thick, and you know, they need to be fucking interesting. Like, I did this one with Kevin Whitaker, right? Like Crown. And this one has interesting, full, thick sounds. Like, the sound design on it is really good. You know, I mean, I did it, so I feel like it's really good. Let's see. Let's find it. Crown. Yeah, we'll play a little music video. No, because that's not even here. We'll just play from Spotify. From Spotify, gentlemen, ladies, and gents. Yeah, so if I like just the sound design, I'm not talking about anything else. Just this track, the sound design and the mix and sonics and shit, you know?
No weekends, baby, I'm a warrior. I gotta get my pay. Beat broken down like a modern man, fighting through the pain. Quiet, settle down, calm it down. Back to work,
give them hell. This is not a running game. Put your crown back on and fight. This is how we kill the pain. We rise right above and fight. The game is more than a fight for the cup. It gives you a taste and denies it. You scraped and cut.
Anyway, I'm just showing you some nuances. Like, it has a lot to do with sonics, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want to make modern music like that, like heavy, hardcore, whatever, like sonics, right? You can't skimp on sonics. You can't think like, oh yeah, I'm just going to use these presets and shit. Like, no, you got to work with the right engineers. You got to work with the right sound designers, producers. Like, again, like, we are not the same. We are not using the same tools. You know, a lot of us have been doing this for decades, you know, and spent our whole lives doing this, majority of our lives doing this. And yeah, I'm just so invested in this. And I know a lot of people are. They're very, very invested. Like, I've put all my money, all my time, all my energy into music and learning all this shit and making records every day, right? So yeah, it's just not the same. So if you want production, if you want to step up your shit, you got to work with people that can step your shit up. Like, you can learn production your whole life, and if you love it, keep doing it. Like, I would encourage it, but don't expect to like jump just because you have a computer and you have plugins. Don't expect that all of a sudden you're going to be, you know, making productions that people that have been doing this forever make productions. Like, you know, stuff that you think is really, really good, like that I thought was really, really good, like even 4 years ago that I made. I'm like, oh my God, that sounds like shit, right? So it's hard. It's a constant like development game. But anyway, I digress. I love you guys. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Share the show if you liked it, if you got something out of it. I only show you guys my music to kind of, you know, help you guys like see what I'm doing and learn from it. So if you don't like my music, I get it. Like, fucking, I don't like a lot of music either, right? But I still learn from it, and I learn like sounds and textures, and I listen to it and I pay attention, especially if someone's like more successful than me at it, and that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I listen to. I'm like, yo, yeah, I want to hear this person talk about it. I want to learn from them. So thanks guys, appreciate it, and have a good Friday night. Go have fun, have a beer for me. Peace.